Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Entertainment Now podcast. My name is Nick.
I am Ian.
You are sitting right fucking in front of me, Ian.
I know. It's terrible.
It's strange. It's very, very strange. This is the first time in almost a year we've actually recorded the podcast in person.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm sure at this point, if you've been listening to the podcast for a while now, we have been recording all of the podcasts. So the Entertainment Now podcast is always recorded over Zoom, and then that way, of course, you can listen to the audio only version, but we also post the video on our YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
But our schedules didn't quite work out this week, so we've got to record this and the vinyl then all in one day. So Ian just came over. We're trying to knock it all out. So unfortunately, if you're listening to this, there will not be a video form of this up on the YouTube channel.
Right.
Okay.
Although I've been playing around with Premiere Pro.
Yeah.
And maybe I could put something together.
I guess maybe
because all you'd have to do is I could do the video part and you just pop the audio into it.
Well, I mean, I can do that also. I mean, I've got.
Well, I'm just thinking because you're busy.
Yeah, I am busy. I work like 100 hours a week, so yes, I am busy. But you're right, because I used to do that with Life in General podcast. I would post video of the audio only, which no one fucking watches it though.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll put it up there just to.
Some people might say, "Hey, I can enjoy the podcast without looking at these dumb motherfuckers."
Well, dumb motherfucker, because I'm also in the video, so.
I implied that with dumb motherfucker.
Asshole. So what's going on, Ian?
Nothing.
Oh, I will say before we get into the episode, and before you get into how you do absolutely nothing all the time.
Yeah.
If you're listening to the podcast, make sure you subscribe to it on your podcatcher, leave us a 5-star review.
Yeah.
All that fun stuff. Go on. We have gotten a couple more followers on Facebook, so that's cool. Follow us on our Facebook page. There's a page for the Entertainment Now podcast where we post, just the stuff for the channel and all that. So make sure you follow us on there. If you are watching this on YouTube, if I do post it to the YouTube channel, make sure you subscribe to it and all that stuff and all the fun YouTube-y stuff.
Give it the thumbs up.
Yes. Ian, so back to my original question. What's going on? Cricket. Oh.
No.
Chirp,
Let's see what's going on. Nothing.
You know what's
Really
going
nothing.
on? You know what's going on is Ian has a love affair with the word That's what Ian has.
Yes. And I go back a long way.
I will say that. So back when I was
is a passionate lover.
And it's one of the things that drive me crazy is people that use a lot.
Yeah. Says the person who had to train himself not to do it.
I did.
Yeah.
You're damn straight I did.
Yeah.
But and I do other things now. I repeat words sometimes instead of saying So when I was back in nursing school, we did the very first semester. I remember we had to stand up and do we were broken up into groups in our clinical groups, and we had to stand up and do some kind of presentation. And it was really funny that I sat in the back of the class, and me and the group I was in, we kept track of how many times people said and in a 15-minute presentation it was 70 to 100 ums.
How many likes? Not a lot.
Yeah. Not a lot. There's definitely a lot more ums. There's a lot of that goes on.
Well, it's a learned behavior because it isn't necessarily. It's not a word. It's not being used as a word.
Yeah.
It's being used as
It's a pause.
It's a pause. So
your brain can catch up to what you want to say.
And it's part of our thinking process.
Yeah.
Because we're trained to use that because we hear it from our parents, who heard it from their parents, and so on and so on.
It's a learned behavior.
It is. As a result, it's embedded into your way of thinking.
Yeah.
So it's difficult to change it, and you still do it, I'm sure. Occasionally.
I do. I absolutely do. I have trained myself right there. I didn't say I just repeated the word. Yeah. You find other ways that aren't as obvious to do the exact same thing.
Right.
That's all there is. And you're right. It was 100% the result of doing this podcast that I did that.
And to be completely honest, I don't ever expect to be a public speaker. So I'm probably not going to put that much effort into it. I will try.
I will say this. If you had to edit the podcast, you would probably try to stop.
I would just leave it in.
Because you no, it does, and I'm talking like, Ian, there's like an obscene amount of ums in some of our episodes.
Yeah.
And
I'm going to do my best.
And I go through and have to, and I don't edit them all out.
Right.
Because I think sometimes editing them out can make the conversation seem unnatural.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, because you can
lose,
feel the edit.
Yeah. Well, not only that, it just, I feel like sometimes like it's like with auto-tune. That auto-tune in music, if overused, and I'm talking about like pitch correction, not like the digitized like T-Pain kind of stuff. If you take out too many of the flaws,
it sounds
you
fake.
lose some of the like authenticity of the sound. So I feel like the same way with a podcast also. Mm-hmm. I don't edit them all out. I will try to edit out as many as I can. And I will say that's like really the only thing I edit out of the show. So
yeah.
Sometimes it could be a lot though. And sometimes I'm like,
hey, you
Ian,
know what?
I say, Ian, you're such an asshole. Like, just fucking stop.
and then when you're editing, it gets even worse. Yeah, no, I get it. I will do my best, but I'm not making any promises.
Yeah. So nothing else has been going on, man?
No, I can't really think of anything.
We had some really interesting comments on YouTube.
Really?
And
that means people are actually watching it?
No, on the Vinyl Then YouTube.
Oh, yeah, people do watch that one.
Yeah, a lot of people watch that one.
Yeah.
So
I know. What did we hit? 50,000 views?
What's up? No, 500,000.
500,000.
We have 500,000, 500,000 views on the YouTube channel.
Awesome.
Which is fucking insane.
Since I'm only in one a week out of the 5 a week you do?
I do 3 to 4 videos a week.
So 4 to 5. Out of the 4 to 5 a week, I'm only in 1. So.
Well, no. 3 to 4. There's 3 to 4. Yeah, 3 to 4 YouTube videos a week because I do the Tuesday videos on my own. I do the Thursday videos on my own. Ian used to do them every once in a while, but he hasn't done one of those in a couple of years.
Yeah,
hint.
I'm working on it.
I've been doing Friday videos also. You're in the Sunday videos.
Yeah,
most of the time.
So if you average them all together, I'm only in about 125,000 views. I've only been looked at 125,000 times.
Probably not that many.
Okay, even better.
Not that many. I will say that like our Sunday videos aren't the most watched videos. And I think it has more to do with the day that they're on and kind of the style of the video because the if you haven't watched the Vinyl Den, make sure you go check out the YouTube channel. We got like almost 5,000 subscribers now, but the Sunday video is vastly different style wise than the other videos because like the Tuesday video, that's all new releases. It's kind of straightforward. The Thursday video is generally like album specific or something like that. Fridays I like to kind of mix it up. Sometimes I'll do like album reviews and things like that. And then the Sunday video is a conversation.
Right.
Those videos don't do the best overall on YouTube anyway. So,
it's all I tend to watch. Well, that's not true, but I prefer conversational videos to just one talking head.
Yeah. So our subscribers like the other videos more. Has nothing to do with the fact that you're in them, but
well, that's why I don't watch them.
You don't watch them because you're in them?
Yeah. I don't watch the videos with me in them. I'll watch your videos, but I don't watch the ones with me in them.
So 2 comments that I wanted to kind of touch on. And one is on a video where it was my Record Store Day 2023 takeaways and haul video. I will say that if you go on our YouTube channel, these comments are not on our channel. Because the way I have our YouTube channel set up is like potentially like highly offensive language gets you flagged. And the I have to actually like physically go in and like, oops, I made it go away. I have to like physically go in and like there's a little check mark there. I have to hit the check mark to approve that message. And sometimes it's like
This is the Vinyl Den. We approve this message.
I do not approve either one of these messages. They also delete themselves after 60 days. So the first video is from my Record Store Day 2023 Takeaways and Hauls video. This guy, his name is Matt Porter, said, because I picked up the Pearl Jam live album.
Right.
He said, Pearl Jam, it should be sucks, but Pearl Jam suck slightly harder than their fans.
Huh.
I don't understand why, and this is not the first time I've gotten, hateful
Pearl Jam?
comments about Pearl Jam. I don't know why Pearl Jam is so damn divisive, I guess.
I don't know either. I think they're a fantastic rock band.
So, thank you, Matt Porter.
He's not
I
listening.
know he's not listening, but whatever.
Fuck you, Matt Porter.
Fuck you. And then there's another one. This is from my Most Wanted Record Store Day 2023 album. So that was the video that came out the Thursday before Record Store Day.
Okay.
So this is the video that came out before the first video I talked about. And so I wanted to pick up the Taylor Swift album. I think Folklore is a fantastic album. Folklore is, I think, one of the top albums of the last 3 or 4 years recorded by female artists. It's a fantastic album. So I talked about wanting to pick up the Folklore. It was the Long Pond session, so it's like a live version that she recorded for the Disney Plus special.
Okay.
And they released it for Record Store Day. So this is from Bionic Bigfoot, who said, how are you going to have time for that Taylor Swift record when you have all those dicks to suck?
Oh. Well, what would Bionic Bigfoot?
Yeah, Bionic Bigfoot.
Here, see, this is about time management, big man. So what you do is you put the album on whilst you're sucking the dicks.
Oh, there you go.
I mean, it's very simple. I mean, you really just need to prioritize what you're doing.
It's multitasking.
Well, that's it. It's multitasking.
You've got to multitask.
Yes.
Fellatio and folklore.
And you know what? If you really want to maximize your efficiency, take 2 dicks at once. Whilst you're listening to Taylor Swift.
I like what I titled it. Fellatio and folklore. It works out perfectly.
Yeah. Yeah, it works.
Knocking out two birds with one stone, right?
two nuts with one suck.
Terrible.
Oh, Jesus.
So thank you, Bionic Bigfoot and Matt, whatever the fuck your name was.
And you know what? Bionic Bigfoot, we won't point out that it sounds like wishful thinking on your part.
Oh, maybe that's what it is. Maybe he wants me to suck his dick.
Or he just wants to suck a bunch of dicks while listening to Taylor Swift.
Wow.
Hey, we like everybody here.
Yeah.
So
I will say that if you would like your shitty comment featured on an episode of the Entertainment Now podcast, go to the Vinyl Den. And
yes, absolutely.
Leave a good shitty comment.
And you know what? We may not always be so flippant about it, but
because I've gotten some downright shitty.
Yeah.
So
nothing hateful as far as I've gotten nothing racist or anything like that.
Yeah. I've talked about rap albums and gotten very racist comments and things
none of that
because
shit.
there's some just nasty people.
Yeah, we were not going to give that any of that at the time.
No. So. But I can laugh about someone telling me I need to suck more dick. I guess.
Right.
But.
Well, I mean, I'm not sucking any, so maybe we all need to suck more dick.
No thanks.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not going to go out looking for it.
But yeah, I thought that was really kind of comical. Interesting YouTube comments.
Yeah, very cool.
So what's this? This really has nothing to do with our topic either. That we're going to talk about, but I've been kind of big into AI lately, and I guess I've really kind of been in AI for probably the last year. I'd say.
Well, I don't.
I remember.
I've been familiar with it most of my life, but
yeah, I don't remember when ChatGPT got popular, but I remember talking to people, no one had heard of ChatGPT.
Yeah, I didn't hear about it until you told me about it. What, 6 months ago, maybe?
Yeah. Probably longer ago than that. I don't know when it started getting popular, but I've been into that kind of stuff for a while now. But it seems like everyone is freaking the fuck out over AI. And I don't know.
Well, I think some of it's justified because if you look at what things like ChatGPT can do right now, and the things that Midjourney and Leonardo are doing, there runs a risk that writers could be put out of work, graphic designers can be put out of work.
I feel like that's been the conversation for any kind of advancement over the last
True, but
40
this
years.
is a situation where it's a specialized skill anyway. So there's a lot less people involved, and it's not a physical thing. So like people freak out about switching from oil to solar power. The difference is the people who are working on making and processing the oil can be retrained and move over.
Yeah.
Same with taking off, you train the coal miners to work on wind turbines and stuff like that. They can be retrained. But when you're talking about a specialized skill like writing, what if an AI is doing it for you, there's no reason for you to exist.
We've made huge advancements in AI over the last 5 years.
Yes.
Like I would say,
and that's the other problem people have. It's going too fast.
I would say even less than that. Probably within the last year, we've made light year advancements in AI, but it still isn't a point where it can replace you.
No, but
like,
it
because,
will be.
Because
is the thing, and it's already showing signs of being much sooner than they originally thought.
Because here's the thing, like you're talking about, like a writer, AI can write something for you. Mm-hmm. It's not great though.
Not now. It will be.
Maybe.
There's no maybe. It will be.
Maybe.
Because just pointed out.
Because here's the thing is, let's say you're a writer for a comedy TV show. Mm-hmm. AI is never going to be able to, or it more than likely will never be able to have comedic timing.
But it could, because all it would have to do is be fed the information, and we have decades and decades and decades of that comedy.
No, you're right. So, it absolutely can write it.
And I think it can mimic.
I don't think we're going to get there anytime soon where it'll actually write it in a way that is high quality.
No, not in the short term. You're absolutely right. But I think in the long term,
can it write things like monologues and articles? Yeah, it can, if given correct information.
Right.
Because that's the other issue. The other big issue you have with AI is it's only as good as the information it's fed, and it's only as good.
It's learning,
and it's only as good as the prompts that you give it.
Right. But the point of AI is to get it to a point where it no longer needs prompts to do what it is you want it to do.
Yeah.
So you're right. It's not there yet. And it may not be there for another 10 years.
Yeah.
But the fact is that it is going to be there. It will eventually be there.
Eventually.
We're not talking 20 or 30 years. We're talking 10 to 15 years.
Does that mean it's going to replace everyone? No, I don't think it's going to. I think that
if it's going to replace enough people, and it's going to, as I was talking to one of our coworkers about this, I'm okay with AI if it's regulated. It needs to be regulated. That's the only thing that I think most people are really concerned about.
But the regulation I've seen is so far people just want to shut all of it down.
No, you don't shut it down because there's too much potential for it.
What this reminds me of is it reminds me of the music industry in 1999, where you had this I guess freight train coming down the tracks, which was streaming. Mm-hmm. And the music industry ran from it and tried to fight it. Instead of embracing it, trying to utilize it and making the industry better, they just tried to fight it and pretend like it was going to go away.
Well,
AI is not going away. What we need to do is figure out a way to utilize it. And yes, some restrictions, some regulation is probably good for it.
I think there needs a lot of restriction, but I think artificial intelligence potential outside of art, outside of the arts, in like medicine and design, in terms of like engineering design, can be extremely beneficial. So you don't want to stop it. But one of the things that the Writers Guild is striking on right now is that the studios are already looking at ways to have AI write their scripts for them.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I know.
It's not fine if you're a writer. It doesn't matter if it's 30 years from now.
It's fine. It's fine because, like I said, it's not going to replace you as a writer now.
Yet.
It could.
It doesn't.
Here's the thing, though, and I'd hate playing the fucking hypothetical game.
Right.
That, well, we should do something.
I'm not saying we should stop.
Or we should highly regulate it now to stop this from potentially doing something decades and decades from now that we don't know if it'll ever fucking happen.
It does. Well, that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it never happens. But I think there should be safeguards put into place that allow there to be protections for that. So you're right.
Here's my question, though, is how do you safeguard that happen? How do you put a regulation on there to stop them from utilizing an AI created script?
I don't know, but
because you could absolutely pass a law.
Wrap it up into labor law.
You could absolutely make a law to make it illegal.
Well, you don't want to do that either.
I'm going to tell you right. First off, who polices that?
Right.
Secondly, you're talking about these big movie houses are multi-billion-dollar companies. They will find a way to utilize that.
If you do it something like in terms of labor law, where you can make it part of labor law to say scripts must have 80% human production.
Yeah.
And it can, there's ways I think they could quantify that, because you actually have the people doing the 80% of the work. Yeah. If they do 80% of the work, they only get paid for 40%, or they do 80% of the work, but what shows up is only 10% of what they did. There's ways to verify that. Yeah. It's not telling them they can't use it. It's just saying that you cannot completely eliminate the human element from this.
And the reason why, and what I'm saying, though, is the way I'm looking at it is I look at it the same way we've discussed AI created music recently.
Right.
It's the same thing. Like AI, without that human element,
right,
it's not going to be good.
And that's exactly what I was saying to our coworker. I said, it's not that I was saying you don't want to, because there has to be humanity in our art. There has to be, because that's what it's about. It's not, you're not creating static. We're not sitting and enjoying static. We're not getting anything from static. We need human frailty, and we need human emotion in that.
You're not going to get that from AI.
No, you can get a facsimile of it to a degree,
and it's not going to work. And that's what I'm saying, though, is like the writers want to bitch and complain about AI.
They just want to protect themselves down the road.
They want to bitch and complain about AI. Be better. Write better, because I'm telling you, like, the shit that's on TV is fucking garbage for the most part. A lot of stuff that's on
you do realize that what's going on with the writer's strike really has little to do with AI.
I know that, but I'm just saying, though, is like, if you're threatened by this AI, write better scripts.
They're writing the scripts. The studios aren't buying them. They're telling them, if you want to work, we need this show to work this way, and we need this script.
Okay.
It's not. There's no art in it anymore.
Here's the thing. So, and here's the thing with TV companies, big movie houses, whatever.
It's all the same thing.
They don't give a fuck about TV. They don't give a fuck about TV shows. They don't care.
That's all they care about.
Hold on 1 second. They don't care about writers. They don't care about actors. They care about what's going to make them money. That's why you see 90% of the garbage you see on TV.
That's what I'm saying.
Is reality TV.
It's not the writers producing garbage. The writers are being paid to produce garbage. Yes. So it's not about them producing better. So you can't put all of the blame on the writers.
I put some of the blame on the writers.
No, because they need a fucking job, and they're going to write what they're asked to write.
I know that, but what I'm saying, though, is like things that are, and not everything is directed, write this way.
No, but Hollywood is not buying new stuff. They're not buying original stuff. They're buying exactly what the last project was. Yeah. So just write that. We're not even going to look at it if it's not.
And that's what I'm saying. Like if you're, because you're never going to have.
Sorry, my phone.
You're never going to have that human element in AI. You're not. An AI program is never going to be able to write Friends, for instance.
Yeah, I mean, I think down the road it will be able to.
I don't think you'll ever get to that point.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm saying, like, be better than the AI program, I guess is a better way to say it.
Well, and down the road they'll have to be. But the point is that there's nothing wrong because, like I said, the AI thing is a small part of what the Writers Guild is on strike for right now.
But what I'm talking about is like on a bigger stage, on a bigger scale, you're having people in Congress talking about stopping AI, putting the total
people in
brakes
Congress
on.
who are banning books too.
Those are the people that make laws, though.
I know. Yeah, no. Nothing's going to stop this AI train. This AI train is going wherever it's going to go. Nothing is going to stop it.
And I will say that the probably when it comes to AI, I would say the bigger threat, because you brought up the writers, the bigger threat to an art form is not TV, it's art. Because you could take a program, there's Midjourney, there's a bunch of other programs out there that can create beautiful.
Well, that's what I was
art
talking about. Yeah, the
if there's anyone
graphic designers are going to be out of work.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm surprised they're not already. Because what I've seen Midjourney do,
it can absolutely.
Yeah. Now, what's really going to be scary is when Midjourney can do a full-blown animated movie. And I don't think that's that far off because they're already working on.
Well,
no, there's already programs that they're starting to develop that can do animation.
Yeah.
It's rudimentary now, but look how fast this is moving. If they can get it at a rudimentary level, say next year, which is 2024, I can imagine by 2025 that light year leap that we've seen with all the other stuff could potentially happen.
I think it'll happen for sure.
Right.
I think it'll take a little bit more than that, though.
It might, but we're still talking within this decade.
Yeah, probably.
So, I mean, and granted, we're only 3.5 years in. That's not that far off.
Yeah.
So, and as far as the writers go, they need to win this strike because they're getting shafted.
Well, yeah. They've been getting shafted for 40 years. 50 years.
But they've been able to make good strides. The 2008 strike, they got a lot of what they wanted.
Yeah.
Not enough because some of those things that were in the 2008 strike are still coming up now, especially as it comes to like streaming and stuff like that, which was in its infancy then.
Yeah.
I think that using the writers, talking about AI and talking about the writers, it's an important issue, and it's something that we need to talk about because I would be highly surprised if there aren't people within the studios right now trying to figure out if they can pull it off now to get to extend the strike. The strike's going to end eventually.
Yeah.
And the writers will get some stuff. The studios will get some stuff, as all strikes do. But they want to stretch it out because the longer they stretch it out, the less the writers will get because they're going to start starving, or running out of money, basically.
Well, they'll find other ways to do. They'll find other things to do.
If you've spent most of your life writing or in a part of your life, you can't. What are you going to do?
Oh, I know.
It's not something. It's not like you worked in this factory. You can go work in this factory.
I'm not saying they're going to replace what they're getting. They're not going to replace the way that they lived for the last X amount of years. But they won't starve to death.
No one starves to death anymore. People starve, but they don't starve to death. My point is that it's extremely obvious that the studios are shafting the writers even more so now.
Yeah, and guess what? They will after the strike is over.
So what you're saying is the writers should just give in?
No, that's not what I'm saying at all.
Because you're sounding very anti-union right now.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Writers should write better. They won't starve. They're going to get shafted anyway. I mean, this is all like old school union talk.
So they do need to write better.
That's a matter of opinion.
And here's the thing. Well, you're right there. And when it comes to like whatever happens, the power doesn't lie in the hands of the writers union.
No.
The power lies in the hands of the studio. That's why I said, regardless of what happens in this, with this contract, they're still going to be screwed moving forward.
Right.
You're always going to be screwed because the writers don't have an upper hand at all in negotiations.
Not yet. Come fall, I think they'll start to get a little bit more of an upper hand.
I don't know if they will because
the streaming services, which are owned by these same companies,
that's true,
are going to start going, we don't have any content.
Well, a lot of them have just a bunch of,
Yeah, they're still going to have their old content.
And they're going to have all the damn reality bullshit TV that they pushed out over the last
I don't think that's going to sell as well as it did in 2008, though. Because it was a novelty then. It was new. It's not new anymore. You're right. There's tons of reality. But you can go on those same shows and watch 2 decades of reality shows.
That's true. But
I just don't think it's not going to save them the same way.
Earlier today, I was going through a list of all of the recently announced renewed shows for the fall.
There's not a lot of them.
There is a lot of them. 90% of them are reality TV shows.
Well, those are always going to get renewed. Anyway.
That's what I'm saying, though. Is like they're still.
But
they're still.
I don't think they could saturate the market, though. I mean, it's already saturated to a point.
It is.
So, I don't think they could add more to that to cover the.
How long do you think?
On top of that, we're not just talking about network. Network will be okay on reality shows, and even cable networks will be all right. But the streaming services will not. But they need new content.
And this kind of goes back to, like, the power conversation. How long do you think the studios can hold out?
Oh, if they really just did not want to give in at all, anything, they could probably hold out for a year or two.
Do you think the writers could hold out a year?
No, I don't.
That's why I said.
That's what I'm saying.
There's your power.
That's what I'm saying, though, is if there are, like I said, I believe wholeheartedly that they are looking at ChatGPT and saying, can we pull this off, so they can stretch it out that long.
Yeah.
Because that's their goal. I think they want to stretch it out as long as they possibly can until their content starts hurting their bottom line or lack of content.
I don't know. Like, they can hold out a lot longer than the writers can.
Oh, of course.
It'll take.
That's true.
It'll take a while before it really impacts their bottom line.
Right, but that's true of any industrial action.
Yeah. But here's the thing, and there is one way that the writers can kind of level the playing field and make it really hurt the studios. You know what that is?
What's that?
Attack advertisers.
Well, I think they're kind of doing that anyway. With
they are, but nowhere close to anything that's going to, make big advertisers pull away from networks.
Oh, I thought you meant actually doing their advertising. Well,
no. I mean, because that's where because that's how you think that's how people have gotten Fox News and things like that to cancel, quote unquote, people from TV is you go after their advertising.
True, but I think the problem is that we still live in a very polarized country where half of the country is not going to decide with the writers anyway because
I would say more than half the country won't.
Yeah, I think it's in that 49 to 52% or 49 to 51%.
I would be surprised if it was more than like 40 to 45%, but go ahead.
That support the writers or I don't know. I think it's probably closer to 50-50, but we could both be wrong. Because there's a lot of union people in this country. Yeah. But there's also a lot of people who are anti-union. So it's really hard to say.
Yeah. And there's a lot of people that don't give a shit and just want to watch TV.
Right. Well, I mean, if that's the case, it's eventually going to affect them. If they like scripted shows, it will affect them. Yeah. And most people do. Even the reality junkies are still going to still prefer, or not prefer, but still like to watch scripted shows. Yeah. Otherwise, Grey's Anatomy wouldn't still be on the fucking air.
I don't know how that one's still on there, but
I don't know how it got on there in the first fucking place. It came on right after the last writer's strike.
It did actually. Yeah. They, in the first couple of seasons of Grey's Anatomy weren't that bad. No, it quickly turned into like soap.
I'm telling you, I watched that first, maybe the first or second season, a big chunk of it, and I'm telling you, it was utter trash.
But
I mean, it was just so paint by numbers every week, exactly the same thing.
That's how most TV is now, though. That's why I said.
Yeah, but when you're doing drama, you should be able to mix it up. ER mixed it up.
That was a very different time, though. And that's what I'm saying. That kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier. Like, write better stuff. Like Grey's Anatomy. Write a fucking better TV show.
They keep saying we're in the golden age of television.
I don't fucking think so, but okay.
Well, I mean, that's how you get shows like Entourage and Game of Thrones and Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul.
Yeah.
Those kinds of shows, you know. That's how you're getting that is because you got good writers.
Yeah.
And that's what people are talking about when they talk about the golden age of television.
It's funny you mentioned Entourage, but...
Well, I mentioned it because I know you liked it.
Oh, yeah. I actually just started rewatching that.
Yeah, so...
recently.
You know, and there's
That's very good.
Honestly, I can name
show.
More than 24 other good shows that are well written out there, as a result of the time period we're living in, because streaming does allow.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though.
But it also is very constricting on the back end, is what they're trying to get, like they used to get.
And I have seen a lot of people talk about this being the golden age of TV,
Right.
mainly because there's so many different avenues you can go through to get a TV show made or a movie made. But here's the thing, and this kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier about needing better, high quality writing, because you're right. Everything is the market is oversaturated with TV shows and movies. It's literally fucking everywhere.
Right.
But I feel like the overall quality of TV programming has gone down.
See, I don't agree. I think it may not be quite at its peak, but I think it's better now than it was 20 years ago, arguably. Obviously, there's a lot more going on, so the amount of stuff to go to say that is greater now.
That's what I'm saying, though, is like per capita, if you want to say that, for TV, like with the amount of programming we have available now, 15 years ago, like there are more good shows today, but that's because there's more volume. So you go back 15, 20 years ago, I feel like
there was less bad shows?
There was less bad shows.
Well, maybe because there was less, again, like you're saying, less avenues for bad shows to slip through.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times those bad shows, I mean, it's still cutthroat.
Yeah.
Those bad shows aren't lasting because good shows aren't lasting. There's good shows that are being canceled after one season.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So it's still just as cutthroat, but because there's more avenues, you're getting more of it out there. So I think, I guess you'd have to really be able to look at the numbers of what, and again, it's opinion, but if you were to look at the number of, say, high quality shows, or at least universally accepted to be high quality shows in, say, 2003 compared to 2023, where are the percentages at? Because that's the only way you could really get a fair amount. I mean, there's no way for us to be able to tell.
No, it's a complete fucking guessing game.
I feel that it just based on my interpretation or my view on it, that the percentage is probably the same.
I don't feel like it is.
No, but again, that's because there's such a high volume of stuff coming through. It may not be. I could be very wrong. It just, to me, it seems like it is, because there's a lot of shit out there that I haven't even watched that looks really good.
Yeah.
And some of that shit's gonna be shit, but some of it's gonna be golden. And I don't know if there's really a difference in what that is relative to what it was back then. You know,
I don't know.
I'd say if you had 10 shows coming out in the fall, it was guaranteed that probably 5 or 6 of them were not going to make it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Maybe even 7, but 5 at least. Now, if you have 100 shows coming out, how many of those are going to hold up?
15?
Maybe. It could be as low as 15. It could be as high as 50%. Who knows?
I don't see that, though, because I go through, especially the last several years since we've been doing the podcast, every year I go through the list of what's getting renewed. And as far as like scripted TV shows, it seems like less of them are getting renewed after a season or 2.
Yeah, it's hard to say. Then there's a lot of shows that are going like 10, 11 seasons. Yeah. And the difference is it's a shorter amount of time. So 10 seasons nowadays may not necessarily be 10 years.
Yeah. And
it might be 5 years.
Yeah. And 20 years ago, a season was, 22 to 26 episodes. Right. A lot of times now a season is
10 to 13.
8 to 14 episodes. Yeah.
It's the rarity, I think. It's usually 10 or...
But if you look at like a lot of those like Disney Plus
shows are generally 6 to 8.
Yeah.
And that seems to be just their standard. To be fair, though, they're making shows that are high special effects.
Yeah,
works.
and they're also like hour-long episodes.
No, Mandalorian. The longest episode of The Mandalorian was 50 minutes, and the
It's
general
an
average,
hour.
the average episode length is 35 minutes.
Oh.
The average length of Obi-Wan, which was 6 episodes, was 42 minutes.
Okay.
Which is fine if you look at like old school TV, because that's about what they were.
Yeah, it's about an hour-long episode.
But when you put it together as basically a miniseries, what was promised to be a 6-hour movie, that was their tagline. That's what they were advertised. This is going to be a 6-hour Obi-Wan movie. It was really like 3 hours.
Yeah.
And a lot of people edited it down to like 2.5 because they thought it was stretched out.
Wow.
But that's neither here nor there. Mandalorian, there wasn't an episode. Excuse me. There was one episode that was an hour long. Every other episode was 32 to 35 minutes this year, and it was 8 episodes, which is what they've all been. But still, it's that bothers me more than bad writing. To be completely honest with you.
Why is that?
If you're gonna,
I would much rather have a shorter show if it's a better show.
But
bad writing.
But it wouldn't necessarily be. I mean, I think with shows like that, it feels truncated to me. If you're going to charge for the streaming service, and you're going to produce shows that do not necessarily have to have commercial breaks, you can pop them in anywhere. YouTube proves that.
No, I know.
So you don't need to structure your show based on that. And you're only going to give me 6 or 8 episodes, you're still going to make me wait.
Structure it around breaks, but okay.
But you're going to make me wait week to week to see an episode. Give me a fucking 45-minute to an hour episode. If I have to wait a week, because back when streaming first started, they were dumping a season at a time.
Yeah.
And the seasons are done. They could do that. They're stretching it out because they don't want to lose subscribers.
Exactly.
I get that.
Well, that and
But if you don't want to lose subscribers, give us something worth waiting for.
I don't have a big issue with that, I guess.
I do.
I'm fine with
if the story requires it to only be 30 minutes, great.
25 to 35 minute episode.
If you have 1 or 2 episodes that's that short, great. But the whole season? No, it doesn't. I think they could have done more, at least for this last season of The Mandalorian. I think they could have stretched some things out. They could have cut back on some stuff too. It's hard to say, but they could have stretched it out. Obi-Wan's the outlier. That one probably could have only did need to be 4 episodes. Didn't need to be 6.
Yeah.
I think if it had been 4 episodes, the people wouldn't have been so rough on it. Star Trek, though, Strange New Worlds, every episode was at least 55 minutes.
Okay.
First season, which meant it felt like it was worth the wait because you were getting a full episode. You know.
Yeah. I don't know. I've got, like I said, I've got no issue with a shorter episode.
I find that funny. Writers need to write better. I'm okay with only 20 minutes a week. It's,
I didn't say 20 minutes. I said.
Well, in the grand scheme.
I said 25 to 35 minutes. I'm fine with that being an episode. That's long enough to do what you need to do.
American Idol's on for 3 fucking hours every other week.
That's reality TV, man.
Yeah, but my point is that at least for people who like American Idol is worth the wait.
Yeah.
Make it worth the wait. That's all I'm saying.
It is to me, I guess, but I don't know.
She-Hulk was another one.
We never got to our topic. I guess we can save the topic for.
Oh, did we talk that long?
Yeah, we're like 45 minutes in,
so.
Well, I guess we can just leave it there.
So what did we learn today? Fuck the writers.
That's not what I said at all.
Oh no, you're right. You didn't say fuck the writers. You said do better.
I did. I did say do better.
You want more money? Do better.
That's not what I said either.
I know, but I mean that's what you're implying. Do better.
I think that there needs to be a better, higher quality programming made.
Well, you have to you hit the nail on the head. It starts from the studio down because they're the ones who are paying for the work.
No, it's absolutely true. Yeah, absolutely.
If the writers say, "Hey," or the studio says, "Hey, we want better writing. We want something different," the writers will produce it.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. I think a lot of times it comes down to because the studio is more interested in maximizing dollars,
right? And dollars for them nowadays
they go with
repeat.
If I'm writing, if we're both writing scripts, they're gonna go whoever's cheaper.
Well, they're not. I don't think they're like bidding on scripts.
No, well, I mean they are, but
not really, because basically the biggest hurdle, real quick, for what they're doing right now is the studios are setting up these mini rooms.
Yeah.
And the mini rooms are basically, they're being said, okay, we need you to develop the show. These are the guidelines. We need you, say 5 writers or whatever. We need you to develop the show and get things ready because we're going to go in so we can go into production.
People still sell shows though.
Right. But then what they're doing is because it's a mini room, they're not paying these writers full value. And what happens is once they do all of that work, the studio takes it and gives it to another group of cheaper writers to rework it. And those writers who put all that work in aren't getting paid for any of it.
So it sounds like the writers should be mad at themselves for accepting to do the fucking work like that.
Well, no, because this kind of came out of nowhere. This wasn't like, hey, we're going to do this to you. It was more like, hey, what's going on here? They were getting screwed without knowing it until they realized what was going on.
Okay. Then stop doing it. Stop agreeing to do it.
And then they're not getting any work.
Then then you're back to square one because guess what? You're not getting work right now.
I don't know what to tell you. I'm all for the writers. I want everyone out there to know I fully support the writers in their strike. I want them to get everything they're asking for. Wow. I think they deserve it. Not all writers are good, but all writers deserve to get paid for their fucking work.
Oh yeah,
and they deserve to get back end.
I'm not saying they don't, but I'm just saying don't agree to fuck your neighbor, I guess. Because that's what sounds like they've done. They've if we're both writers, and we're doing that to each other, we're fucking each other. We're not fucking the studio. Yeah.
Well,
don't agree to do it.
It just, and I will say this: it sounds, and I'm guilty too, but it sounds like that's how someone who gets a regular paycheck every week understands the world. Writers don't get a check every week.
Oh, I know that.
It's feast or famine, and the only way that they can truly
what it is, it's short-sightedness because they are thinking, okay, I'm going to do this because I don't give a fuck what happens to the rest of the writers.
I don't think it's that.
Oh, I guarantee that's definitely part of it because they don't fucking care. They just want to get paid because, like you said, it's feast or famine.
Right.
So they don't care who they fuck over, even though they're fucking over their industry.
Well, the studio's fucking them over, and it's pitting them against each other, if anything.
Yeah.
But
But if the writers banded together and said we will no longer do
that's
this,
what they're doing right now.
I know that. Ian. That's what I'm saying.
They're banded together now.
Yes, but before you even got to that point,
if it wasn't that, it would have been something else. The studios are always, like you said, it's always about the bottom line. Yeah, I get it. That's how business works. But I believe in a world where businesses can make a reasonable profit. They should make sure that their workers and the people who provide the services that allow them to make that profit
the writers should be
compensated.
Yes, they should be compensated fairly.
Yes.
We'll leave it like that, I guess.
Okay.
But any question?
Union son of a bitch.
Of the two people on here, I'm the one that's in the union.
Exactly.
So.
What the hell's going on with you? Are you a right to worker?
Any questions or comments, you can email us at entnowpod@gmail.com. Follow us on Facebook and, leave us a nice 5-star review, or if you're pissed off at one of us, leave a 1-star review.
Leave a 5-star review, and even if your message is really aggressive and you hate us, if you leave the 5-star review, we'll read it.
Yeah, I will.
But you have to leave the 5-star review if you want to really.
You can always go on YouTube and leave me nasty comments, and we'll make fun of you.
That's you pointed out that is monitored.
Oh yeah, so that's why I said go on there and make comments, and then we'll make fun of you.
Oh yeah, 5-star review though.
Yeah, 5-star review.
We're not going to do the Patreon thing. Just leave a 5-star review. It's completely free, and then you can curse us out as much as you want.
Yeah. But
just nothing racist or homophobic.
Yeah. But until next time.
Talk to y'all later.
Peace.
Play my role, let me tell you about it. This shit right here, man, I'm about it. Only real niggas reside around me. Yo, old lady, drop a guard around me. Dip like I know you can, bitch. Show me the ropes like we in the ring. Got you some cobras, you wanna hang. Shoulder to shoulder, them niggas basic. You know I won't lie. You know that I ain't for that fuck shit. You niggas alright, but I'm way better and she love it. Know that y'all sick as fuck. Here go this tissue, bro. We taking the dub. Hoping you get you some. This hit like a pick me up. She taking my drugs. Now they see the sign. That's some dollar signs. they sick as fuck. Know they sick as fuck. Tell them get well soon. Tell them get well soon. Know you sick as fuck. Get well soon.
Oh shit, watch out, you the god Billy. Oh shit, right now and I'm smiling in your face, bitch. With a gold smile, you should probably make placement to your eye. Niggas sick as fuck, standing with niggas who down for that party, who down for some bitches who showing their bodies. Swear to God, nigga, this Molly got me up and rolling. These bodies of water, bring that shit in bottles. We mosh at the party, they hate when we style it.